Welcome to this week in the world of wrestling.
Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John, that's my cohort and commentary Ashton, and this is our Monday Night Raw review. And this show was very interesting, to say the least, for a go-home show before Survivor Series this Sunday. I think it had a very strong opening, pretty much in the middle for me, but then again, a strong finish.
Yeah.
Ashton, what do you think of this show?
I'll say this. As far as the opening goes, was it a solid opening? Yes, but it was also very monotonous. It was a freaking 20-minute promo, just like we've been opening every show lately, and it's just one of those things where I like it when they try to change it up a little bit, or even when they just keep it a little more on the succinct side and they don't ramble for a half hour. Well, in this case, 20 minutes, but yeah, you get the point. But the finish was amazing, and I would say even though there were a few, and I wouldn't even say there were any really bad segments tonight, which is far better than I was expecting, but there were definitely some boring segments tonight. And then other than that, there was some really good stuff too.
Yes, there's some definite lulls in the show for sure, but yeah, as you said, some great content in there too. So with that said, let's get into our first segment, Heat of the Night. And you know what? I'm really conflicted about this with how the show ended, so I'm just going to air something. I'm going to classify it as a nitpick, but I do want to get it off my chest. John Cena is a horrible team captain.
He is.
The baby faces, particularly Ziggler, Big Show, and Sheamus, all got decimated throughout this show with different segments tonight. And not once did Cena come out to try and help or show concern, really, in any segments to me. And they're the babyface team. That's where all the sympathy should be derived from, is the suffering of the babyfaces. And I just felt like John Cena pretty much treated the whole thing with an air of nonchalance. It kind of got under my skin a little bit. Again, it probably would have been a heat of the night had the ending not been as amazing as it was. But, John Cena, he was like a leaderless leader tonight, so got under my skin.
A leaderless leader. That'll make sense eventually, I promise.
Yes, it will.
All right. You know what? I don't have. I don't have any heats of the night tonight.
All right, good. Well, with that said, we can get right into our Smackdown recap. Yeah.
You're so excited about getting that right.
I don't really get many things right in my life, so I take the victories when I can get them.
Don't talk like that, jeez.
But this is a solid episode of Smackdown, but I'm not going to lie to anybody. All I really care to talk about is the Intercontinental Championship match that we got. Because
that's really the only thing that happened on SmackDown that was significant and or notable. Although we did get a pretty sweet Chris Jericho highlight reel, which was kind of unexpected, other than the fact that they advertised it.
Yeah, Jericho, it's always great to see him in the mix. I think he's really that talent that he's very fluid. You can just put him in any situation and he'll adapt and he'll make it work. So it was great to see him interacting with the Authority, playing up. I can't wait to see Team Cena beat you. And then Team Authority's like, well, for your sake, you better hope that they do, because if they don't, don't bother picking up the phone, asking me to get your fix of Y2J chants. And can I just say, real quick, because the SmackDown segment made me think, Triple H has been doing great mic work leading up to this. He's been cutting some really intense promos as a heel, man. I've been loving it.
Yeah, he's... The one problem that I do have with him is he's supposed to be this evil corporate heel, and he's cutting some very likable babyface-esque promos.
You could say likable and babyface-esque, but what I love about it is his promos, I think, reflect the stakes that are at hand here at Survivor Series, because he knows, he's fully aware, if he loses, he's done, and he's really selling it. I mean, really selling it, especially with the promos we got tonight, which we'll talk about later. And yeah, this highlight reel segment just harkens me back to that, because it's just he tells him, Chris, we lose everything, and for your sake, you better hope we don't, because I'm the one who answers your phone calls.
I am the one who knocks.
I am the one who knocks, Chris. So that was great. And then, I just want to get straight to it. That Intercontinental title match set the place on fire, dude.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
I'm telling you, like, 3 of the best undercard talents, I think, in WWE. Maybe not overall, but definitely just 3 of the best, generally speaking. I mean, Tyson Kidd, Cesaro, and Ziggler. You know that Cesaro's stock has fallen and Kidd's has risen when Kidd actually got the elimination off of Cesaro. And Kidd outlasted Cesaro.
You know what, though, John? If you actually saw the match, Kidd didn't beat Cesaro. Ziggler beat Cesaro, and Kidd stole the pin.
Yes. And I loved it all the same, though, because Tyson Kidd being a heel, that made perfect sense.
Absolutely, and that's one of the many reasons why I absolutely love Tyson Kidd during this run.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
not as much of a fan of his as you are, but man, I'm really, really developing a deep appreciation for what he's doing. Like,
look, man, anybody who has the boldness to put cats
on his kick pads,
deserves respect.
See, that would have been a heat of the night for me tonight, that we didn't get any Grumpy Cat Tyson Kidd segments, but I decided against it.
I feel your pain, brother. I really do, because that should have happened. But you know what, though? Like, I don't even mean to knock on Cesaro, because before he got eliminated, I think he had some of the most memorable moments in the beginning of the match, too. He did, like, this double suplex, lifting up both guys. He looked like he was about to do something to both guys off the top rope before that transformed into a Tower of Doom, so that was pretty cool. Uppercutting people everywhere. He powered out of the sharpshooter. Cesaro is one of those guys that I know a lot of people are worried about him in his stock, me admittedly being one of them to a degree. But I also know that he's that guy that all you need to do is take him seriously for just one program, and he'd be right back on track. That's how good I believe him to be.
For sure.
So he'll get it back. He'll get it back. And then it comes down to Kidd and Ziggler. And what did you think of this final sequence, Ashton? Because I loved it.
To be perfectly honest, I don't remember anything that much from it. To me, the 2 most memorable spots in this match were both when all 3 guys were still in it, and the one was the Tower of Doom, obviously, and the other one was when Tyson Kidd went for a frickin' dungeon lock, and Cesaro countered with the swing.
That was great, yeah. I'd say the other memorable spot for me, because I agree with the 2 of yours. The third would be when Tyson got the kick on the apron to Ziggler's head, and then Cesaro caught him in the German bridging pin.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was over then.
Yeah, I thought Ziggler was going to get eliminated, and Ziggler really sold the crap out of that near fall, though. That's what made it so good.
Yeah.
And then you had Tyson walking along the barricade when it came down to him and Dolph, and he did that kick to the face that he usually uses the apron with. So I thought that was a really cool spot. Yeah, this match killed it. I think it got This Is Awesome chance 3 times.
Yeah, I mean, I won't go as far as to say it was a match of the year contender. Maybe TV match of the year contender, but not match of the year contender.
I would definitely, without reservation, give it a TV match of the year contender, without question. And it may even win it for me, because I can't even remember a TV match, for the WWE product, and that's even including
Cesaro Orton.
Cesaro Orton,
leading up to Elimination Chamber, remember?
I mean, yeah, that was really good, without question. But I mean, this, especially considering the talents that were involved.
Yeah, like, and plus, we got to take into account the WWE puts all their best TV matches on in December anyway, so.
Yeah, they really do. They really do.
I mean, last year we got Ambrose Cena, Rollins Cena, Reigns Cena. We got I think that was when we also got Rollins Orton, or maybe no, it wasn't Rollins Orton. There was another Orton match last year in December that was really ridiculous. It might have even been a different Cesaro Orton match, but yeah, like last year December was ridiculous for TV matches for whatever reason. Like they just decided to go all out to close the year.
Yeah, it seems like they always put their back into it before starting the new year, but then we go from that to a really average main event for my taste, Ryback versus Kane.
Yeah, it wasn't
run-of-the-mill match here. Ryback gets the win. The most notable thing here, which is going to be funny because I think it relates back to the closing segment of Raw, so we're going to see a circle completed later in the show. Ryback and Triple H have a stare-down to close Smackdown.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very interesting. But, yeah, other than that, not really. I mean, Bray Wyatt cut a promo, but it was the same promo I think he's been cutting on Ambrose, how he's just trying to save him. He's just trying to help him. He knows all about his problems. So nothing really to note there. And yeah, that pretty much covers SmackDown as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move on.
All right, so with that said, now let us get to our Monday Night Raw review, and we open this show up. I mean, how else do we open a show up but with the authority, with Team Authority in tow?
With a 20-minute promo.
Yeah, because if you don't go 20 minutes, it just ain't worth it, man. I mean, Triple H draws on like nobody else. Yeah, I mean, didn't he pretty much say here that, again, like, everything's at stake this Sunday? Be sure to watch the network, because all through the month of November it's free. And then they say, like, anybody who still has the guts to join Team Cena, you know, we're going to destroy you. We're going to destroy Team Cena tonight. You know, the war begins tonight. Pretty much the same narrative that's been going on since this match was announced, right?
Yeah, I mean, he does get a little bit more impassioned about it here, talking about how the crowd doesn't really know what they want and that they're just sheep and they need someone to follow. Which, honestly, I couldn't help but just be like, yeah, he's pretty much right there. But he took a shot at WCW, you know, because any chance they get, they've got to. Talking about the inmates running the asylum and how they picked it up at the auction or whatever it was. And yeah, it was, I don't know, there was some real underhanded stuff in this promo, but eventually Ryback's music hits and he comes out.
Yeah, Ryback does come out. You know, Stephanie is trying to be mediator. She says, look, Ryback, you know, I get it. Tensions were high. People did things that they maybe shouldn't have done. And then she looks to Kane, and she's like, right, Kane? And then I love Kane in this role, because so often he just says things, and it just seems like he's swallowing glass. Because he's just like, I regret what transpired. And you could just see, like, he's trying so
Yeah, but
hard
the
to
thing
calm
is,
down.
what he was really saying was he regrets that Ryback turned on the Authority because of him, not that he regrets doing what he did.
Exactly. And then, you know, Stephanie says, look, Ryback, if you're even entertaining the notion of joining Team Cena, you know, why would you want to join up with a man who doesn't even respect you, unlike how the Authority respects you? And then we go to video evidence, which highlighted two different segments from last year, which really, that was the gem of the segment for me, Ashton, because
Yeah.
I can't believe that WWE actually referenced their own history.
Yep.
So that was really cool. And then, you know,
This was almost reminiscent of when when was that? Was that in 2011? Yeah, 2011, right before the Summer of Punk, when we were getting Punk Orton for WrestleMania, and Punk brought up the punt from like 3 years prior to point out why he's going after him.
Oh, that's a great reference, dude. And yeah, I remember that. Like, when you do stuff like that, I just think it gives all the more meaning to whatever you're trying to achieve, because it's like, oh my god, continuity is happening. And then Ryback just reaffirms what he's been saying. You know, I'm not Team Authority. I'm not Team Cena. I'm Team Ryback. And I love it. I love that, you know, he's affirming that he's neutral. He's affirming that the only interests that matter are his own interests. And yeah, good stuff from the big guy. Excellent.